Okay, so I'm just coming off of 4 days of being sick and having all the symptoms of coronavirus. And I live here in Japan, so this is gonna be a very short rundown of how my experience was like and what to expect if you're living in Japan and you're suspecting you're having coronavirus and how to get help or how to not get help in the case of Japan, unfortunately. So, um, first, sorry for my voice; it's still a little bit rough from all the coughing and stuff. So, day number one started with me being woken up with terrible stomachache, and I just thought, oh, it's just something that I ate. And I've had a similar situation like 2 months ago, but I couldn't really move all too well, and I couldn't really find a position where I felt no pain. It was a very severe pain, and it was 3 hours, 6 hours, full day, and then I developed like a low grade fever, and I was starting to get very worried. So, but okay, that day number one passes, and I'm figuring like, okay, I'll go to bed. I'll wake up. I'll probably feel better tomorrow, right? So I wake up tomorrow. The pain is still there, if not even worse, and the fever is getting worse. So the low grade fever starts progressing into high temperature on the evening of day number two. So it goes up to 39, 39.6, 39.8. And at this point, I was suspecting appendicitis. Since I come from a medical background, I was pretty much sure, okay, those are all the signs. My stomach's very painful. It's painful to the touch. I can't really move. I was feeling constipated and stuff like that. So at this point, my wife gets very worried, and we start thinking about what to do. And on day number two, I hopped on my bicycle and went to the nearby hospital, and went in there and I explained that I have terrible stomach ache and that I'm suspecting it's appendicitis and that's an emergency because if that thing pops, if it ruptures, then you're probably going to die if you're not being taken care of really fast. So I go into the hospital and I get rejected. Ah, sir, you have a low grade fever. I'm sorry, but try another hospital. So, and it's the time of the Obon holiday, the biggest holiday in Japan. So most of the hospitals and clinics are closed anyway. So I'm super pissed off, and I come back home, and that night my wife starts calling up lots of hospitals and even calls up the COVID-19 line that's developed for helping people who suspect they have COVID symptoms. So we call the COVID-19 line and they say, well, no hospital's gonna really accept you. And maybe try this hospital. And we call them up and they say no. And then we call another hospital and no. And she tried dozens of hospitals. And like I was fading in and out of like sleep, and my mind was all hazy. I couldn't really pay attention to what was going on, but we explored all available options, even on the website of the Japanese government. There's like, call this number, will introduce you to the hospital, will guide you through the thing, and everybody and everything proved to be utterly useless. So we were being strung basically, okay, call this number, do this, do that, but no help in sight, and we felt really desperate. So um, it's a terrible experience because you would expect for a country as great as economically strong and developed as Japan is to have this under control. And here we had one of the fewest cases in the world, and it's all been handled pretty quickly. The fewest deaths in the world, and I expected it to be way better than this. Even in my home country, in Serbia, you can just go to the hospital and get tested on the spot if you'd like. And we're a third world country over there in Eastern Europe, so they wouldn't get me tested. They wouldn't accept me in any hospital because I had a fever. And they basically told me, well, if it is appendicitis and if your appendix actually ruptured, well, we're sorry, but stay home and die, pretty much. So I'm terribly disappointed in the Japanese healthcare system. And I was one of the hospitals actually instructed us to, okay, just call the ambulance, and the ambulance costs like a lot, but still, what should we do? We call the ambulance and then we get rejected from the hospital again. So I was pretty lucky to have a Japanese wife who's a native speaker who can call all of these lines and jump through all these hoops in order to get information, because I do speak Japanese, but this is on a whole other level. It's not your everyday work and conversation type of Japanese. It's the answer machine picks up the phone and then you have to navigate through their instructions and blah blah blah. It's really painful, not to mention I don't even have a phone number, a SIM card in Japan, so I can't even contact anybody. So if you're alone and you're experiencing symptoms of COVID-19 in Japan, all I can say to you is good luck, and if you're religious, pray to God. If you're not religious, then just hang on tight. So that's what I had to share for today. Today I feel much better. I think this morning my fever actually stopped, and I am able to move. I still have some mucus going on, coughing a little bit, but at this point I'm pretty sure it was not coronavirus. It was just a stomach bug or something, maybe a flu or something I caught, because it's been 4 days and I didn't have the dry cough at all. So yeah, but anyway, pretty scary. So have a nice one. Take care.